Welcome again to the Map Center. The previous video I showed you how to add a field to the different ways and bring up an analyzed image really quick. Once again, it was going through searching by location, selecting the farm and fields and adding and creating a farm. Under creating a farm there, data management, you would select a clue boundary. After you'd save that clue boundary as a field, go to the field button, reselect the field that you saved as that which I did, and it will come up, and back to the analysis, come up with an image, analyze it, adjust it, and put how many zones you have. So in a quick minute there, that's about what we did in the last video. So next, when we have a saved analysis of this image for July 7, 06, now we analyze the general 12 zone and it's saved under here. Now I want to go back to where I left off. So first of all, what you do is click on this little colored icon here, and that'll bring you back to where you left off. I'm going to bring up that 12 zone you had. Now I know it's a pretty good depiction of the field, but yet it has 12 zones and I want less. So I'm going to show you how to custom manage and change this map as you would go, and the other features after that. Now from here, you want to make a custom zone map. We want to start out with a higher number of zones to get the variability out of the field, yet we want less zones, so we're going to end up merging these 12 down to 4, 5, or 6 depending on. So I'll make a custom zone map, and at that point you can change that number of zones as many times as you want. So for our custom features, we have merge zones, shift zone endpoints, change zone colors, paint polygons, paint pixels, dissolve polygons, and then you can revert to the original. Then from here you can save it, export it, and calculate economic data, which I'll go into. First thing you want to do is merge zones. So you have 12 zones here from varying sizes. Now these small ones are just the edge effect, or some of this other area which is there. That's a slew there actually. So I'm going to add these smaller acreages together by clicking on them. You can't click two separate ones like number 1 and 4 and add those together. You have to do them side by side. Then I'm going to add these two together here also. Now that gives a good range of motion of yields. They're fairly even around there. 6 zone, which is a decent amount. So I'm going to click Done Merging. Now the next part would be to shift zone endpoints, which will either shrink or expand the zone relative to the next one. I'll show you that really quick. Now I feel this red, the dark red here, is a little too much. Now I want to bring this brown into it a little more. So I'm just going to click the button, move it over a little bit, and see that shrink this red area a little bit. And if I wanted to expand one of these or so, or shrink, I could do that as also with the other zones. I'll press Done Shifting. Next part will be changing zone colors, which some people might use. Some people can't see certain colors, so you might want to change it according to what you can see. For one, I'm going to change, say, this one to a little lighter green instead of that green. So you click on the color, then you click on the little circle there, box, and that'll change that. Now I maybe want to do this one a little lighter green. And you could spend all day on this. Sometimes you might see a pink in there, and pink's not necessarily the most manly color, I guess, for me. So, but if you like pink, I guess that will work for you. So right now this field, I like the colors for it. I can see them clearly, so press Done Coloring. Now from here I could revert to the original if I want to go back to the 12 zones. I'm gonna the paint polygon feature is for basically putting a test strip in there, square. Say I want to put an even area there just to test. I'd pick the color I'd want. I'll just pick the dark one. And you press a dot. You could do this in any configuration you want. Paint poly. And it's going to put a square area in there for, say, a test plot or whatnot. Now, I'm going to undo this. Or I'm not going to undo last, but just be done painting right now. So I want my test strip in there. And that's going to match whatever this would be here also. Now the next part would be to paint pixels. You see these little dots in here, which your rig that you're going over might be wider than that, which is probably only like 10 feet or so. So I'm going to color that out. Go to the color, which that's in. That's the brush width. Usually 5 is probably what you want to do the width with. And then just paint it around like a normal paint feature like you see on other computers. We'll do this area here too, and you could spend quite a bit of time doing this if you really want to get intricate. And you want to wait for the button to be done there. Don't get too mouse happy, otherwise it might go a little too fast. Click done painting. I'll save that. Now from here again I could revert to original. I'm going to go to dissolve polygons. This is a feature that not too many will use. It will it'll take these small areas like you say here or there, and it will just merge them into the zone right next to it, so you won't have any of these blips. So if you say you don't want a zone acre no bigger than or no smaller than 10 acres, you put 10 in here, dissolve, and it will take all the acres out of that are 10 or smaller. But I'm going to keep it as it is right now. You could do that with the paint feature too, just depending on, because some zones maybe you want there for just that little 10 acre piece, but you could have it as 1 acre, then those little dots will automatically go away. Now from here, I like the image. You want to save it. Every step once you're done, I'm going to do custom 6 zone, July 06, July 07, 06. There we go. Now that'll save that. As you can see, it saves it on the side here. Now from here, I could go straight to creating an export to a certain controller. I'm going to go to the calculate economic data first. And it basically shows you some numbers, the amount of nitrogen savings you could do, different crops you have it on, just keep it at wheat, some different anhydrous blends. I'll put that at anhydrous, and you can change the number as you want, or the percentage, or N per unit for yield unit. Now these credits, they are just basically in here for actually our sugar beets, because the sugar beet tops have nitrogen in them according to how much biomass vegetation there is. I would just zero those out. Those numbers are actually the same as the soil test too, so you could just change the credits and leave the soil test at 0. Now for say on this field my average yield goal is 60, but in this area my yield goal is probably 10. This might be 20. So for 30, we'll say 50 there. This one we'll say 70, and really good area we're going to say 90. I'll change the numbers according to amount of end yield unit. Now soil tests, for using this map you want to zone soil test. So we would soil test in each different zone accordingly and find out what's actually in those zones. So you could say this, whatever it might come out to be. And these are just random guessing numbers. Of course you'd need to go out in the field and actually put those in to find out. Now say those were my soil test numbers and my yield goals. For 90 bushels in this zone, and it's got 20 pounds residual, it needs X amount more, 274 for anhydrous. And compared, if I just put everything as one rate and thinking the yield goal is the same in every area, I can save, comparison, almost $6,000 and most likely get the same yield and spend less money. And that depends on your area. Now if this soil test at 20, well, there's maybe more potential in this area, so you could say, well, I might be putting less on there through this calculation, but actually I'm going to put more, another 20 pounds over what the average would be to get 90 bushel yield goal, because that area is a good producing area and it can handle it. Now that's all up to you. But from here, you would save it to database, and we'll say 6 zone econ report July 07-06. And once again, that'll pop up on the side here, and I'll show you that how to use that tree there after this. From this point, we'd create an export for a controller. There's many different types of export. There's the John Deere one. That'll go onto Google Earth, so you could just put the map on Google Earth if you want. I got Ag Leader, AGCO Falcon. Some of the other ones use different types. We'll just use the shapefile, which can be converted many different ways. Now this is going to vectorize the field into groups, as you see here. Now for shapefile, you cannot vectorize more than 12 zones. The other ones you can do more as you wish. Now here it already added my attribute as anhydrous since I went through the economic data report. Now if I wanted to delete that, I would just check mark that, delete that attribute. I'm going to save that though. I'm going to add another attribute. I'm just going to put water there, or actually I'll put P there for phosphorus. Add that attribute, and you can add as many as you want and put your rates in accordingly. I could change these as I want, depends what you want to do. Just put some numbers in there. And to this step you could add more attributes, like water for spraying, for different fungicide rates or different herbicide rates or whatnot. But either way, save it to the database. We'll say export schoolhouse July 7-06. And we'll say 6 zone. And I would get in detail of how you name it. Check mark that. Now you want to name it, and you can download this file, or you can email it also to somebody else, a co-op or so, or to somebody else that will be applying it. I'll just name it as custom 6 zone export. Download the shape file or email it, and this will save it to your computer, save it to your disk, open with, whatnot, put it on your computer, and go from there. Now I'm going to click out of this, and that's how you make a custom map, get an economic analysis, and create a vectorize spread map or other map for a different controller. The next video will show in depth some of the other tools, how you use them, and then also starting from scratch, getting into your fields really quick and going through the ones you've already saved. And that should be it for this video. Thanks.